This is an update on ADS version 1.2.60. This release changes the way that views are loaded and centered. In the main window, you can alternate between the main view's front, left, right, top, bottom, front, and back with the view tool buttons. You can use the Shift, Control, or Alt Command keys to center the view. With an object selected, you can use the Option key, holding it down and click and drag to rotate around the selection. You can have multiple objects selected. If you click on the view direction with one of the objects selected, it will center on the selection. If you hold down Shift, Control, Alt, or Command keys with the direction, it will scale the view to include the items selected. In the edit view, you can make a selection, rotate about the selection, and if you change the view direction, it will center the view on the selection. And if you hold the either Shift, Control, Alt, or Command keys and a direction, it will center on the object being edited. An update in this release also adds support if you select points and hit the Option key, it will rotate about the selection as well on the edge. You can select an edge and it will rotate about an edge. This makes it easier for navigating, rotating large objects. This works with triangle mesh. You can select the points. View, it will center. You can select the edges. Holding Option and rotate will rotate about the selection, and same with faces. Holding Option and rotating will rotate about the selection. If I select points and view, it will center about the points. If I hit Control and the view, it will center about the selected object. The context bar has been updated to include a save icon and a color. Color selection. This is the spline mesh. Inside the spline mesh is two reference curves. So if I select the mesh having child curves, I can select this conform tool and it will snap the object to the curves. The mirror mesh tool has been updated. I'm going to select on this surface. I can select the show and it will highlight the selected object. Currently, if you are working on a mesh that's mirrored and it has lots of details, it can be slow to update because of every time you make a change, it's modifying, regenerating the mirrored object, and performance can suffer. You can see the changes reflected in the mirror, but performance isn't great. So as a temporary solution, if you hide or disable the mirror plane object, which contains the replicated mesh, the object will update without modifying the mirror. So the performance will be better. In the future, we can optimize the performance and add features for updating all of the mirrored meshes in a scene. This will just make it easier for managing projects. PDF exports have been fixed on Windows. If you're building a project, you can load an invoice and it will load correctly on Windows now. We're looking at supporting a cloud-based interface. This is just a proposition. The premise of this would be that you can access the interface and modify your projects over the web using WebGL or WebGPU. This hasn't been built out yet. This is just a proposed idea. This would allow for online service so that you can log in and do CAD CAM work online, or you could run the software on your machine and host your own cloud server so that you can have the compute resources on a desktop machine and then log in from remote locations to your computer working on your private files. This is the car that we are working on.